All right, so I'm going to have you look at this website to talk about depositions first, and then we will probably meet about half an hour before your deposition, but I want you to understand the basics of depositions. A deposition basically is the other side's chance and time to hear your version of what happened, okay? Now, what I tell clients in deposition is it's all about the truth. And as you'll hear throughout any of these videos, it is all about the truth. But you need to understand in a deposition that the truth can be missed, okay? For example, they're going to ask you, if it's an auto accident case, and most of the examples usually are, they're going to ask you a question like, well, what did your body do when that vehicle T-boned you, okay? And you're going to answer that question. And guess what? That accident happened this fast, it was over in no time, and they're going to spend half an hour talking about what your body did. And the truth is, you have no idea, most likely, what your body did. What you do know is, you know what, immediately after the accident, my neck hurt and my ribs hurt, and so I'm assuming that I hit this or I hit that, you know, or my ribs hurt, so I hit the steering wheel, but you don't remember specifically in the accident your ribs hitting the steering wheel. So in the deposition, you cannot say, my ribs hit the steering wheel, because that's not the truth. The truth is, you know what? I don't know what my body did. I do remember immediately after the accident that my ribs hurt, so I assume my ribs hit the steering wheel, or my neck hurt immediately following the accident, and so I assumed that I hit the headrest. But unless you specifically remember, and I mean specifically have a memory of your head hitting that headrest, or your ribs hitting that steering wheel, or your knee or shin hitting the dashboard, you cannot testify that that's what happened, okay? Because they will hold that against you. You don't understand what they're doing, is they're asking you what your body did, because they're going to send you to a doctor who is paid to find that you're not hurt as a result of this accident, and he's going to say, you know what? The way they complained about what their body did is inconsistent with the injury. I think this is related to degenerative disc disease, or I think this is related to the broken leg they had when they were in high school playing football. They're going to find out another way to say that this injury wasn't caused. So you need to listen to every single word in the question and don't adopt their words. It's just too easy to do. Okay? They ask you, you know, hey, what did your body do when your head hit the backrest? Because you just said, I think my head hit the backrest. Don't act like it's okay to answer that question. You have to say, sir or ma'am, as I told you, I don't know that my head hit the backrest. I believe it did because it hurt immediately after. So you listen to the question, you make sure you understand every single word in the question, you make sure you agree with every single word in the question, and then if you disagree, you just fix it. Most people say yes or say no. I just tell you it's about the truth. Fix it. Well, sir, like I said, I don't know that my head hit the headrest, but assuming it did, because that's what I'm assuming, then this is what happened, okay? Because remember, the accident took place this fast, and they're going to spend 45 minutes on it. But if we were to ultimately get to trial, and all my clients are like, are we really going to go to trial? I don't know. Most cases don't. But let's assume we did, because we have to assume that we might, because if we act like we're not going to, they're not going to give you a fair value. Okay? So when we get to trial, they're not going to be able to pull up this one question that says, when my head hit the headrest, because you fixed it and made it correct. Okay? Because they're going to pick and choose which portion of your testimony to use to make you look bad. So you need to make sure that you agree with the question, understand all the words, and then, you know, answer it accordingly and answer it correctly. I'll give you another example of things I want you to be concerned about. Many times they will ask you while you're sitting in, you know, well, I'm sitting here and I saw in my rearview mirror the car coming towards me. Okay, that's your testimony. Well, I'm sitting at a stop sign and I looked in my rearview mirror and I saw the car coming and I realized it wasn't going to brake. Well, guess what they're going to ask you? They're going to ask you, well, how far was the car back when you saw him the first time? Now, they are asking you to put yourself in your driver's seat, estimate the distance to the mirror, estimate the distance from that mirror back to the car, and tell them how fast that car is going by that reflection, how far that car was from you, and most of my clients go, I'm not very good with estimates, and they're even worse when you start putting into these equations, and they're going to say, well, in terms of cars, and let's say in terms of cars, how far was that car behind you in terms of car lengths? Okay, well, take a step back, okay, and think about that. What type of car are they talking about? Are they talking about a smart car? In which case, 5 smart cars isn't very far. Or are they talking about a Suburban? In which case, it could be pretty far back. So, again, I don't say this to make you nervous, because reality is I don't care how you answer. I just care that it comes across as truthful and honest. And if you can't screw up your case in a deposition, you're going to affect the value one way or another, but if they're to blame, and I'm going to get you money. So recognize that you need to understand the questions and just answer them honestly, but don't adopt the words that they give you. Okay? And that's the key to a deposition.